even see you there. I was just looking at this jar of seeds, contemplating whether or not a seed is a living thing. Do you think seeds are living things? Well, to answer that question, we should think about where these seeds came from, right? So before these seeds were even at the grocery store, they were all in different protective vessels. Plants use flowers, like our friend Matilda right here, and fruits to protect their seeds. And the types of plants that protect their seeds in vessels have a very fancy word in the science community. We call them angiosperms. It's easy to remember because angion in Greek means vessel, and sperma in Greek means seed. So it just means vessel, seed. 150 million years ago, angiosperms didn't exist at all. Think about that. 150 million years ago, if you can go back in the past, there would be no flowers and no fruits. Isn't that crazy? And then it only took 50 million years for angiosperms to suddenly become the most dominant plant group on the entire planet. And now, if you're looking at any plant wondering, is that an angiosperm? Chances are it probably is, because all of the plant matter that you've ever eaten, or if you're eating meat, all the plant matter that meat ate comes from angiosperms. So without angiosperms, we wouldn't have anything to eat and we couldn't survive or exist at all. So since we're starting a new unit, I set up my Eureka page for this unit with everything I already know about angiosperms. You can see that this time I actually just printed out the document and wrote on it, which you are more than welcome to do as well, or you can just copy it down into your notebook like you normally do, or if you're feeling ambitious, you can try to alter it digitally in the actual documents in Google Classroom. So please make sure you have updated your Eureka page if you have not already, and then we need to learn 2 new words before we dive into our lesson for this week. The first new term is a seed. What is a seed? A seed is a flowering plant's means of reproduction. And remember, angiosperms keep their seeds in either flowers or fruits. Most seeds have 3 main parts. There's the outside of the seed called the seed coat. That's for protecting what's inside. There's usually a food source in a bean that's called a cotyledon. And there's a little embryo. What an embryo means is a living thing that hasn't been born yet. So inside a seed, there's a little teeny tiny plant embryo, a little teeny tiny plant that hasn't been born yet. And we're actually going to do a seed dissection later this week so you can actually see the seed embryo. But without further ado, please make sure that you have copied down the definition of seed. And then our second term this week is germinates. To germinate means to go from a seed to a small plant with roots and shoots. So once the seed has grown out its roots and grown out its stem and then 2 leaves, you can say that the plant has germinated. So please make sure that you have both of those definitions copied down into your glossary if you have not done that already. And then we are ready for today's science question. So our science question this week is, which resource do seeds need in order to germinate? For your hypothesis, you get to choose between 4 different resources that you think seeds need to germinate. So for example, if I have this bean seed and I could only give this bean seed 1 natural resource, which resource would I need to give it in order to germinate, and why? Would I need to give it water, air, sunlight, or soil? If I could only give the seed 1 of those things, which would cause it to germinate, that means grow into a little baby seedling, and why do you think that? Okay, friends, that's our question for this week. So please make sure that you have done your Eureka page. Please make sure that you have mastered those key terms and copied them down into your glossary. And please make sure that you have written your question and made your hypothesis. And then I will join you in the next video for our experiment.